everybody. Welcome to another episode of Connect the Knox. I'm Julia Hurley, your host, connecting Knoxville to the nation. Today's guest is John Ewart. He is the Knoxville Chapter president and all things. Honestly, he could probably run the whole country if we would just let him do it, of AGC, Knoxville Chapter, and one of the best volunteers you will ever meet. It is very important that everybody moving here gets to know John because he houses one of the most prolific groups of people you will ever meet. John, please introduce yourself to the nation and start from the beginning, how you ended up here in Knoxville and how you got to AGC, and then tell us what it is.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I truly do appreciate it. My story's pretty simple. I come from a small town, Fayetteville, Tennessee. 1991, United States goes into war with the Persian Gulf area. I enlisted in the United States Navy, had a 4-year career in the Navy that was absolutely incredible. Got a chance to be stationed in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, got a chance to go to the Persian Gulf, Somalia, Cairo, Egypt. Just had an amazing 4-year career. During that time, I decided I wanted to go play football at the University of Tennessee as a walk-on. Got over to UT in 96, graduated in 99, and what an incredible 2-year journey from 1997 and 1998, playing on the 97 SEC championship team with Peyton Manning, playing on the 1998 national championship team with a host of Vols, Al Wilson, Jamal Lewis, and just a host of others. From there, started my business career. Got a chance to work 4 years at Gettysview Country Club. That was absolutely incredible. Incredible opportunity to network, meet a lot of people moving to the Knoxville area during that time. From there, I went to St. Mary's Healthcare. Got a chance to run a health and fitness center off the Emory Road exit. Got a chance to run a daycare, do director of marketing, and facilities manager, COO for the hospital. After 13 years there, AGC hired me 6 years ago to run this market. Running the construction community is absolutely incredible. There's so many amazing people in Knoxville to connect with.
So what does AGC stand for, John?
Associated General Contractors. So we are a nationwide organization. The headquarters of AGC is on Capitol Hill, literally on Capitol Hill. They, of course, want favorable outcomes in legislation. So construction continue to happen and grow. Obviously, the infrastructure of America as a whole is very old, between roads and bridges and dams and everything in between. And then, of course, in the Knoxville market, we really are looking at your vertical GC individuals, the people that are building the large buildings, Smith & Wesson, Neyland Stadium, College of Nursing on campus. So that's really who we serve here in the Knoxville market.
So it's a pretty big market to think about. Anybody that can get a collegiate contract usually has a national contract for large construction. It's not something that's really easy to understand. It's not something that's easy to get into. It takes years to develop the relationships to pull contracts like that. You need subcontractors. You need all kinds of different vendors, and you manage relationships with all of those. What does that membership look like? What is it made up of?
So right now we have roughly 200 members here in the Knoxville market. Everything from the largest GCs, you've got subcontractors, you've got suppliers, you have service providers. And the way I look at it, it is, what does our community look like? And we want to be a makeup of all of those levels in our community. So a lot of people look at this and just say, well, you're just construction. We are not just construction. You have financial investors here, you've got real estate, you have insurance, but then you have all the large subs, you've got all the large GCs. But ultimately, the Knoxville market is built around a community. And I think that's where we have had so many levels of success here, is because we are community driven, which includes construction.
Construction industry as a whole, especially in the East Tennessee market right now, especially in East Tennessee, Nashville blew up, right? It is just absolutely, you can't find space, yet they continue to find space. And they're coming this way, and there's more and more opportunity every day. But as you said, construction's not just put on the hard hat and go build something. Construction is supply. Construction is employment. Construction is management. Construction is healthcare. Construction is base. There are so many different facets to the word construction, and especially the major amounts of construction industries that you were helping manage. what are conversations like with all of those people in one room? Like, what is the benefit here?
So the biggest thing that you look at when we talk about construction is you've got two major things that you've got obstacles with. The first one's going to be employment, workforce development. Second one's going to be supply chain. So with AGC, one of the greatest benefits that we offer in Knox County, not only the school system, but the employers, is we have an apprenticeship program. This apprenticeship program is electricians, carpenters, and masons. This year was our largest group of students we've had, with 270 students starting the 2023 school year. It's a 4-year program through the Department of Labor. After 4 years in this program, you get your journeyman's license. And workforce development in every industry is vital to the growth and continuing education for employers.
Now, what's a journeyman?
A journeyman is basically when you get your real estate license, you have to go through class, you got to go through the seminars, you've got to go through all the process to receive your license. Well, a journeyman is a 4-year degree as an electrician or as a carpenter. So you go 4 years to school, you do all the testing, you get all the apprenticeship hours, which you have to have 2,000 work hours a year, so basically a full-time employee. And after you test out after 4 years, you are a licensed electrician or a licensed carpenter that can practice throughout the U.S.
I have friends of mine that own large-scale businesses, like the ones that belong to AT, and we are told constantly that that is a dying industry, that there are just not enough people that, one, are interested in it or understand why it's valuable, and two, want to go through that long of a process to gain that type of knowledge, yet it is one of the most sought after. Like more why that's relevant and what you all are doing to partner with like T, Road State, Walter State, and how you're providing that to industry.
So from what I understand, the latest study that I saw when we had an apprenticeship roundtable with Knox County is it's about a 5-to-1 loss. We're losing 5 people for every one entering in these journeyman type positions. So for us, it comes down to education. People just don't realize a starting wage for a lot of these 18, 19, 20-year-old individuals could be $15+ an hour. Now, a lot of places are paying $15+ an hour just to, survive business. But once you enter as your journeyman after 4 years, you can make $25, $30, $35 an hour with that 4-year degree. A lot of the college degrees that people are receiving right now on different campuses can't pay that much. I know I didn't make that coming out. No, I came out of college 25+ years ago. But we really want to, through the 865 Academy here in Knox County, with Builders Exchange, with other entities, we really want that education piece to say, if you're not ready for a 4-year degree at post high school, if you want a job opportunity where you're hired, you're employed, and you're still doing education, becoming an electrician, carpenter, mason is an incredible way to go. Of course, my way, as soon as I left high school, I'm straight into boot camp. I'm 4 years military. Then I go back to college and get my degree. I think the value of degrees right now, with the cost of them, you can join the apprenticeship program and 4-year program. I did a study for Knox County last week, and our average student after 4 years graduating will pay less than $1,500 in tuition. So again, we want to provide that value back to our members because they employ individuals, they send them to our school, but it's also a great value for each of those students who isn't getting in a lifetime of debt to get a 4-year, journeyman's license.
I know that there's a show does something called the Man Show every year, and the IEBW, am I saying that properly? The local IEBW is always there. Really and truly, every person that walks through the door, they're like, please go and get your electrician's license. Please, we need more electricians. Please help us. We need this. This is a need that is being talked about more and more and more. How do you see this program bringing these kids into this faster to be able, that 5-to-1 ratio is a big loss. Like, how can we work as a community to bring more of that to you?
I think with Knox County School System starting the 865 Academy, getting their juniors and seniors exposed into different trades and different styles of work, I think a lot of times it's people, have grown up and they haven't had to work with their hands. They haven't had to do manual labor. Yet when they get into the workforce, I mean, that's the majority of the jobs that's going to be out there. And then the second thing is you got to educate them on pay. The hourly wage for a journeyman or the hourly wage for an apprentice is going to be greater than a lot of the other jobs that they're going to be seeking. And the on-the-job training is so important. And that's why being an apprentice and having a mentor and having somebody who is guiding you along the way is so important. But I just don't think in today's Twitter universe, everything is built on social media and clicks and likes. I think a lot of people just miss it. This is a great area to go into business, and you can start your own business after 4 years. It's incredible.
AGC, you said there's 200 members in just the Knoxville chapter?
Correct.
I know that I've met a few. The new female CEO, which is huge, and I'm going to mess it up, OYSK3.
Kara, she's incredible.
So they're doing the blueprints for Neyland Stadium. They're a massive blueprint company, right? That is a skill that takes years of practice to be part, and that's just one portion of what it takes to put together construction. The word construction means so much more. What are some of the pieces? Like you have the women in construction. Tell us about that offshoot of the AGC specifically.
So I had a conversation with my, at that time, 15-year-old daughter. And she was telling me all of this stuff that she is growing up learning, saying how women are at a disadvantage in the workforce, whether it's through pay, whether it's through promotions, whether it's through opportunities. And I don't want her growing up believing that. If it's true or not, again, I don't know. But that's what she already at 15 believes, is she is already taking a backseat to a man. So 2 years ago, I created this Women in Construction to show Megan that you create your own self-worth. If somebody doesn't offer you what you're worth, don't accept the job. If you don't like the environment of a workplace, create your own. Create your own. We got capital. We can do something. Again, you got to be creative and you got to have your own standards. So I wanted to show my daughter powerful women at any level of business, whether you're the admin assistant or the CEO president. Women create so much value. The buying power for women, the decision-making ability, the ability to create companies, and the ability to mentor other young women. So we created Women in Construction in early 2023. And our goal for 2023 was average about 25 people at events. 2023, we averaged 87 people, 87 women at these events. So this year, 2024, every 6 weeks, we are hosting a free lunch and learn. We've got some incredible speakers coming in. And again, it was a way to show my daughter, who is now 16, what decision-making, what leadership, what mentoring, but the buying power that women really do run the world. It is true. You just have to seek it out. And I wanted to show that to people.
We all know that real estate is location, location, location.
Our team at Just Homes Group has the true expertise, pairing buyers and sellers with the right opportunities.
Whether you're looking to buy or sell a home right here in Knoxville,
Lenoir City, Clinton, or Farragut, we have the expertise throughout every Knoxville surrounding area. Call Just Homes Group.
We have all girls as well, 3 girls in our home as well. And as a female business owner who is constantly bridging that, it's towing that line of, I know what people say and I know exactly what you just said is true. Both of those things have got to find the middle ground. There's always you can turn on social media, no matter what social media it is, and find 500 negative things and find the one positive thing. You have to find it. You have to look for it. You have to want to be part of it. You have to create it, and you have to work at it. And reiterating that on a consistent basis to our children, because that's the next generation of leadership. That's another 20 years and I'm out of the game, right? Hopefully not, but 20 years, technically I should be out of this game. And those kids are it. That's the next conversation. And if they're already going into the conversation saying, I can't do something, there's a good chance that they won't even try. something to at least show them if you try and make this initiative, people will respond. And you had 87 women per meeting in attendance, and you're on waiting lists for some of these things.
Yes, we've got some incredible. We had Karen Weekly come out and speak, the head coach of the Lady Ball softball. We've got Claudia with Centro Hispano coming out to talk about the Hispanic speaking community. Our next one is Dana Hart, the CEO, the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. You know, we just had the WNBA draft last night, which was celebrated. The Women's Hall of Fame has their induction ceremony next week. And then she's coming to talk to our women's event, women's group, about why it's so important to have the Women's Hall of Fame here in Knoxville. Why is it here? Who does it serve? The empowerment of women in our women's group was just a perfect connector for our next speaker.
My doubles tennis partner's parents, her brother, we were all at their beach house for vacation one spring break, and her brother had said something. He was a huge baseball player. He was being recruited, and he said, "Well, what if something happened to me and all I could be was a ditch digger?" And I remember, I mean, it wasn't even a thought. It came right out of his mom's mouth. And she said, "Well, you better be the best damn ditch digger this world's ever seen, because if you're not going to be the best at your position, don't do it at all." And that applies to everybody. That applies to the person who has to order the pencils, because if you order the bad pencils, then nobody can do the drawings, and then the drawings don't get to be where they need to be. It doesn't matter what your position is, creating your value, creating that opportunity for value is important. And you're giving that in one place for people. Tell us about why is that so heavy on your heart? Like, what is this? You're very passionate about it. You're really bringing it.
I think, so going to St. Mary's, which is now it's called Tenova Healthcare. But when I started, the Sisters of Mercy taught me a couple of things. I was 32, just taking over the Health and Fitness Center, had 150 employees, had 6,000 members. And, you know, they really preach being a servant leader. You know, as we are here to serve the community, but we are also here for business. And one of the greatest business quotes that I've heard from the sisters is, "You can't feed the poor if you are the poor." And to truly be a servant leader is, yes, you've got to have business principles and business practices, and you do have to watch after your bottom line. But at the end of the day, once you get your bottom line right, it's time to serve your community. And that's really, before then, I hadn't really been part, Gettysville Country Club. I was working with lots of business leaders, a lot of decision makers. And, we were bringing people in and we were networking and doing a great job. But when I got to St. Mary's and working for the Sisters of Mercy, it just changed my perspective on what my personal outlook on life was going to be. And instead of just chasing revenue, I was chasing quality. And not just chasing quality, but trying to serve a community. And it is just continues to translate into what I do today.
You're constantly working on your ability to connect people. You always make the connection. And that is something that's super rare and super relevant, because connectors are few and far between. When you really can just speak with someone, get their vibe, and be like, "I know somebody you need to know," and immediately know who they are. They'll take your call. You've built that relationship. You have that ability, and you are using that to empower all the people in the Knoxville market. Tell us about what you're doing, maybe like in DC or Nashville, because you have to be part of all of it. You're national. You're a part of that.
Well, with legislation, I really do sit on the sidelines for the legislation part. We've got a CEO out of Nashville. We go to Nashville once a year at an event called Day on the Hill, and we go meet with local legislators. And that's great to get a chance to connect with our decision makers in Nashville. Extremely important in all of that. But I really do sit on the sidelines because there's so many varying opinions on the way the world should work and the way the U.S. should work and the way the state of Tennessee should work. It's really hard for me to be on one side or the other. So I really do remove myself from that aspect, because everybody's passionate about it. And nobody's opinion is necessarily wrong. There's just different ways of getting there. So in that aspect, now that's one thing I've done really well since my time in the military, is when people say don't talk politics at dinner, I don't talk politics ever. I really don't. I really just tell people, be passionate about, I don't like indifference. Like, be passionate one way or the other, whether it agrees with the majority or the minority. It really doesn't matter. Just be passionate about it, As you know, I'm passionate about the University of Tennessee. I'm passionate about it. Now I'm an alumni. I was on the football team as a walk-on, which we have a specific role. But I knew my role when I was a walk-on. I knew exactly why I was there with GPA. I knew I wasn't going to hurt other players. I knew that I was going to have a clean drug test. I knew I was going to do all the right things that you're supposed to do. And that's one reason I stayed on the football team as long as I did, because a lot of walk-ons, we get cut. You just don't have the right skill set to be a walk-on. Well, in politics, I know my role. And my role is, if you're passionate about it, I want to hear about it. It doesn't necessarily have to agree or disagree. I just want to hear about it.
I think what I'm going to sum this whole conversation up with is, one, servant leadership. I genuinely feel like that is your passionate thing. I feel it. I see it. Everybody knows it. Anybody that meets you can feel that from you. You definitely want to give back. You want to make sure everybody wins. Everybody gets something from the benefit. Everybody gets a connection. Everybody has something that they can offer and take. It is win-win or no deal with you. And I love that. Second thing that I already forgot, because I was super excited to talk about the first one, because I'll remember in a minute, but it was what you literally just said. And to sum that up is making sure that you have a place to belong and staying passionate about something. And I think that you bring that out in other people, just around them with your energy and your passion, and you're so focused on doing what you need to do to grow other people. And as Knoxville continues to grow and we see more construction in the commercial real estate industry, we don't have 300 cranes in the air, but we're getting gosh darn close to a few more than we've ever seen before. And as we can grow, your role in that will be so important. I think one thing that I have taken away from just being around you in the short amount of time that I've known you is watching the way working network. I had said something to our youngest daughter over the week about connecting to the community. I'm part of this group. You've got to know this guy. You met her at the game. And I said, there's a day that this person's going to look to you like he just became super popular in Knoxville. Oh my gosh, he's so connected. He's got all these things. This guy's everywhere. And you're not going to see the 30 years of dedication and passion and work and relationship and effort and failure and success and effort that went into that, what you're going to see overnight. John Ewart at AGC's taking over Knoxville. You're just not going to see that part. And you share that story with people, and you make sure they know how long it has been of a journey for you to get here. What advice would you give younger people in Knoxville who want to start building those relationships today?
So we're about to start a VFL micro internship program. We've got 25 current student athletes that are going to go work for 25 of our members, and it's a 3-week program. And this is what I will be sitting on my soapbox, preaching, whatever you want to call it, is first off, in today's social media world, you know everybody. You're connected to everybody. So it used to be, who do you know? I don't really believe that anymore. I believe based on social media and LinkedIn and all, everybody knows everybody. So it's now, who's going to extend goodwill to you when you need something? Because who you know really isn't going to get you the needle moved anymore. But who's going to extend goodwill when you call on somebody and say, I need help, I need something, I need advice? The connectors of the world compared to the users, is vast different. You might have 10 people in your world that are true connectors, and the other 100 are users. So you've got to build up goodwill. And that's where that sense of community comes in. I want everybody to know you can ask me for anything, and I literally don't need anything in return. So you want to build up that goodwill. You need to find good mentors. Again, in today's world, who's going to give you the tough love, the tough advice, the information you really don't want to hear about yourself, but you need to hear it? And the people that's going to pray over you and love on you when you need it the most. And so to find good mentors, 1, 2, 3 mentors of people that will be there for you to do the praying and the kicking. And you need both. You need the praying and the kicking. And if you find mentors, and then the last thing we're going to preach to this career development program with these 20 is networking. You have got to extend your network out. So when you need something, your network can make connections for you. That spider web effect. Yes, that one-on-one relationship's important, but it's more important when you create that one-on-one relationship that they help feather you out there and really help get you connected. And if these young people, whether in high school, college, post-college, if they don't have mentors, if they don't have true connectors in their life, it's an uphill battle because you just don't know where you're supposed to reach. Where's that next foothold? Where's that next? You don't have it because you don't have somebody that's been there guiding you. And so that's what I would say that, as people get into any industry, is if they don't have those people, it's hard to build them, and you got to start off young and you got to be invested. When I went and talked to the football team, I was like, just be engaged, be invested. If you're sitting there playing on your phone, if you're sitting there, just half listening to this 3-week period, you're going to miss some of the greatest opportunities that could ever present themselves to you because they're going to love you, not because of the T on the helmet, but the quality of your character.
It is truly a rare opportunity to have a good mentor. My mentor passed away and I had him for a very short amount of time. It was not until very late in life that I found someone who I could really connect with and that could do the praying and the kicking. And he did both very well, very well. And then I learned what I was missing and what I needed. And until that light bulb came on, I couldn't pass that on. I had to fill my cup, had to learn how to fill it properly so that everybody else could have the overflow. And until someone shows you how to do that, you can't do that. Part of it, I'm excited to know who you are. I need to share you as a person to the world because it is, again, very rare true connectors exist, and you are one of them. So I want to say thank you very much for taking time for us today. We're out of time. We've literally gone 30 minutes, and that was like the fastest interview we've done all year. So everybody, I'm Julia Hurley. This was our guest, John Ewart with AGC. Please look it up. Please like it. Connect with him on LinkedIn. You can find him everywhere on social media. And if you would like to be part of his program 2025, go ahead and send him a message because I believe you're booked out for 2024, correct?
We have been blessed. Membership growth has been incredible.
Wonderful. Again, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Connect the Knox. I'm your host, Julia Hurley, connecting Knoxville to the nation. Until next time.
Thank you for tuning into the show. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a 5-star review on your podcast player of choice. And if you would like information on moving to Knoxville, send me a private message. As always, this is Julia Hurley connecting Knoxville to the nation.